Welcome to BOJTV Trending News. For top stories in local, regional and international news, along with sports and local weather forecast, I'm Carla. Coming up in our local trending news, police seize 5 firearms and several rounds of ammunition in less than 24 hours. One PNP campaign team accused Rise United campaign team of breaching an agreement. Western taxi operators say no to all island strikes for fare increase, and sections of Hanover left without electricity. Now the details. On Saturday, August 31, members of the Dr. Peter Phillips-led One PNP campaign accused Peter Bunton's Rise United campaign team of breaching an agreement not to mount an advertising campaign for the presidential election. According to the Dr. Phillips-led team, both sides signed an agreement setting out the rules of engagement for the election. This agreement includes a provision that prohibits public advertisements by either campaign teams. The One PNP team said it had adhered to the agreement. However, the Peter Bunton's team breached the agreement by mounting billboards, along with adverts on radio, television, social media, and print media. In the meantime, Rise United said it never agreed to that aspect of the proposed code of conduct that was put forward by the Internal Election Monitoring Committee. The election to determine party president is set to take place this Saturday, September 7. As police continue to increase operational activities island-wide, 5 firearms and 75 rounds of ammunition were seized and 7 persons arrested in less than 24 hours. The seizures came from 6 parishes across the island to include St. James, Westmoreland, Trelawney, Portland, St. Thomas and St. Catherine. Operations in Area 1, which comprises St. James, Westmoreland and Trelawney, resulted in the seizure of 3 firearms and 35 rounds of ammunition and the arrest of 7 men. In St. James, 1 AK-47 rifle and 2 5.76 rounds of ammunition were seized at a premises about 5 p.m. during a targeted operation in Paradise Road District. Over in Westmoreland, about 3:20 p.m., along the Frome Main Road, a team of officers was on patrol when a motorcycle without a registration plate affixed with 2 men aboard was signaled to stop. The driver refused to comply, sped off, and crashed into a bicycle. 1 Taurus 9mm pistol and 18 rounds of ammunition were seen along the roadway beside one of the men and was seized. One of the men escaped and the other was arrested. In Trelawney, another Taurus pistol along with 15 9mm cartridges was seized during a stop-and-search operation about 10:25 p.m. in Zion District. 5 men were taken into custody. Meanwhile, operations in Area 5, which includes St. Thomas and St. Catherine, resulted in the seizure of 2 firearms and 24 rounds of ammunition and the arrest of 1 man. 1 9mm Glock pistol along with 22.40 cartridges was seized during a patrol in Palmetto Avenue in Bridgeport, St. Catherine. Reports are that about 8:15 p.m., lawmen saw a group of men acting in a manner which aroused their suspicion. A search was conducted and the firearm and 12 rounds of ammunition were found on one of the men. A secondary operation was carried out at the premises of the man, where an additional 10 rounds of ammunition were found. The man was subsequently arrested and charged. He has been identified as 23 years old, Terence Thomas, otherwise called TJ, truck driver of Biscayne Circle, Passage 4th, Portmore, St. Catherine. In St. Thomas, 1.380 pistol and a magazine containing 2.380 cartridges was seized during an intelligence-led operation on Seaview Gardens driving license. Reports from the Morant Bay Police are that about 5 a.m., a search of the premises was carried out and a firearm and ammunition found. No arrest was made in relation to the seizure. Finally, in Area 2, 1 magazine containing 16 rounds of ammunition was seized by the Marine Police at a beach in Port Antonio, Portland. Reports are that between the hours of 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., a team of officers conducted a snap raid operation in the area and the ammunition found. No arrest was made. The police say they will continue their momentum to get to the guns and create safer communities for citizens. The JCF are renewing their appeal for citizens to partner with them by sharing information on criminals and suspicious activities at Crime Stop at 311, Police 119 emergency number or the nearest police station. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs joins the nation in mourning the passing of the Honourable Dr. Kenneth Baugh, former Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator the Honourable Kamina Johnson-Smith stated that throughout Dr. Baugh's tenure as Foreign Minister, as 2007 to 2011, he earned the deep respect not only of the staff of the Foreign Ministry, but also of our bilateral and international partners. She said Dr. Baugh was recognised as a true statesman in the way he led the Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade portfolio. He did so, as with all other responsibilities he previously held, with a strong sense of dignity and always with the highest integrity. She noted that members of the Foreign Service speak with passion of him, having offered his skills as a medical doctor in the interest of their personal well-being, and recall him taking time to encourage their professional pursuits. They note that it was both a privilege and a pleasure to have worked under his leadership. The Foreign Minister said on behalf of the Foreign Affairs Ministry, "We extend our deepest condolences to his beloved wife Vilma, his children and the rest of the family. They are all in our thoughts and prayers." Dr. Baugh died at the age of 78 on Sunday morning at approximately 10 a.m. after ailing for some time. Dozens of Jamaica Public Service workmen are presently spread all over the Hopewell community, working to repair a problem which left the entire area without electricity at daybreak. Reports are that shortly after 5 a.m., a fire was seen coming from a section of the JPS high-tension wires, which runs through the Hopewell Main Street. This was followed by 2 lengths of wires which snapped and caused panic in the community. Dozens of business establishments, schools, and other entities were left without electricity, which forced several businesses to close their doors. The JPS workmen told reporters that they are working swiftly in order to solve the problem and return electricity to the community. Taxi operators across western parishes carried out their regular duties of transporting commuters and students to their relevant destinations this morning. The taxi operators, despite news which surfaced that there would be an all-island strike for fare increase starting this morning, say they are not in agreement with the persons who have taken this decision. One taxi association president, who did not want his name to be mentioned, stated that the men calling for a protest are not legitimate taxi operators, and they are not even members of the All-Island Taxi Association. In the meantime, residents in Western Jamaica say they are very pleased with the decision taken by the taxi operators not to stage a protest on the first day of school. Those were your top stories making local trending news. Now join us for news from across the region, as well as our international story, sport and local weather forecast. In news from the region, Hurricane Durian unleashed massive flooding across the Bahamas today, pummeling the islands with so much wind and water that authorities urge people to find floating devices and grab hammers to break out of their attics if necessary. The fearsome Category 4 storm slowed almost to a standstill as it shredded roofs, hurled cars, and forced even rescue crews to take shelter until the onslaught passed. Officials said they received a tremendous number of calls from people in flooded homes. A radio station received more than 2,000 distressed messages, including reports of a 5-month-old baby stranded on a roof and a grandmother with 6 grandchildren who cut a hole in a roof to escape rising floodwaters. Other reports involved a group of 8 children and 5 adults stranded on a highway and 2 storm shelters that flooded. Forecasters warned that Durian could generate a storm surge as high as 23 feet. Police Chief Samuel Butler urged people to remain calm and share their GPS coordinates, but he said rescue crews had to wait until weather conditions improved. In international news, the gunman in a spate of violence after a routine traffic stop in West Texas had just been fired from his job and called both police and the FBI before the shooting began, authorities said today. Odessa Police Chief Michael Girk said 36 years old Seth Aaron Ator had been fired over the weekend from Journey Oilfield Services. He said both Ator and the company called 911 after being fired Saturday, but that Ator was gone by the police showed up. FBI Special Agent Christopher Combs said Atter's statement on the phone were rambling. Authorities said Atter killed 7 people and injured at least 22 others Saturday before officers killed him outside a busy movie theater in Odessa. Combs said Atter was on a long spiral down before the shooting on the day he was fired. He went to work that day in trouble, Combs said. He said the place where Atter lived was a strange residence and that the condition reflected what his mental state was going into this. Over in our sporting report, India bowled West Indies out for 210 in Jamaica today to win the second test by 257 runs and complete a sweep of the two-match series. West Indies lost key batsman Durian to concussion shortly after the start of the play, but under the new protocols, the home team called Shamar Brooks into their lineup. He went on to hit the top score on the 12-batsman scorecard with 50. Jermaine Blackwood with 38 and Jason Holder 39 also put up some late order resistance. On your local weather forecast, insignificant feature a high-pressure ridge across Jamaica. The high-pressure ridge weakens slightly today. On Tuesday, tropical wave is to move across Jamaica, after which the ridge will again become the dominant feature. The forecast for this afternoon will see partly cloudy skies with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across sections of western and north-central parishes. Tonight, generally fair. Maximum temperature expected for Kingston as well as Montego Bay today is 34 and 33 degrees Celsius, respectively. That was BOJTV's trending news, your top local, regional and international news, as well as your sports report and weather forecast. Until next time, I'm Carla. Thanks for watching.